Intrepid club masseurs Andy Smith and Alex Butler celebrated the completion of their fundraising Pedal for Petrov bike ride with a special dinner in the Holt Suite at Villa Park. A host of Stillion's present and past Villa teammates attended the event, an indication of his popularity and how keen they are to support a fantastic individual. Guests were treated to a drinks reception, three-course meal and an acoustic set from Villa fans Oscar and Simon from Ocean Colour Scene. An auction and raffle raised thousands of pounds for leukemia and lymphoma research. It was a thoroughly enjoyable and successful evening.
To see everyone here and the amount of people that turned up, and I mean, it's amazing, and it just shows how much people love and respect Stan.
They've done unbelievable. I'm grateful to be here. Obviously, I know Andy, Alex very well, having to work with them. Obviously, I'm very good friends with Stan, and just to be here tonight, it's great to see how much they've done, how much they've raised, and to be here for Stan, I've enjoyed it all, so I'm very happy tonight.
They've worked really hard because they're not natural cyclists or natural athletes. I'm sure they wouldn't mind me saying that, but they've worked really hard to do this for a person that's very special to them.
Yeah, you only have to watch the pictures before they've done a cycle, and afterwards they've probably lost about 2 stone each. You can see that, so that just shows how much hard work they put in, and hopefully they've raised the money that they deserve, because it's a massive effort, and Stan deserves the effort they put into.
Yeah, of course it's nice to obviously come back and see the boys from the past and present. So everyone's here for the same reason. Obviously, it's for Stan. As I call him, the skip. It's nice for everyone to turn out and raise money for the awareness, and I'm just glad to be here. He's a massive personality, and wherever I was, even if I was away of England, I would have said that I was going to make sure that I was here tonight. And like you say, Freddie coming from Holland, Carlos coming from Sunderland, Guards coming from Sunderland as well. Everybody's travelled from near and far, and whatever anyone could do tonight, they've managed to do it.
I was just talking to someone there actually, just saying, like, the pair of them anyway, regardless, I don't think they would have had much cycling experience. It seems easy, you can get on a bike and ride, but to do the distances they done in a few days they done it was amazing, and the fact that they actually wanted to do it for Stan made it extra special, and like I say, the lads are brilliant. I obviously worked with them, and they were always brilliant here, but to do that for Stan was amazing.
Amazing, I think for the moment, for the reason they have done it. I know they have done it for one of the best person in the world is Stan, but I think them representing Stan and all the people are having the same problem, and I think everybody have to be very proud about of them.
How special is it, and how pleased will Stan be that everybody here has come together, in aid of him really, and to raise money for leukemia and lymphoma research?
It's very special. That I think he has to be very proud. He has to be happy about that, because he's never going to feel alone, and he can see here how many people and other people cannot came, but they are following him, they are supporting him, and everybody wish him to get well soon.
Unbelievable. Obviously, I knew already some things that they were planning, and I was thinking, no way they could pull this off. But yeah, nothing but respect what they've done. And if you see everyone, who came this night, was good to see all the lads.
I bet, because it's the first time for a while. I would imagine that you've had a chance to meet up with all the lads again and see each other, and all together lend your support for Stillion and for the cause.
What happened to Stan? Obviously, it was a shock, and the only thing we can do is support him, and this is just a tiny bit what we can do, and it's good that we all came together tonight and support him.
You know, they told me about it from when they first had the idea. I've spoken to them, kept in contact with them because they're terrific lads, and I know all the hard work and effort they put into training, and you know, it's a fantastic achievement. And it just shows the camaraderie that we had at Villa Park and we've got with players, and how close we are and what a tight family unit we are. And they chose to do it because of how close they were to Stan. And you know, I think even if it wasn't Stan, it was any of the other players at the same time, they would have done it. That just shows how close they are to the boys and what great lads they are, you know, and they did that off their own back. And again, like I said, it's a fantastic achievement and they deserve all the credit.
Stan maybe see the pictures tomorrow or in a few weeks and see what people have turned up and what money's been raised tonight, and he'll obviously feel emotional about it because it just shows what sort of guy Stan is, and he deserves that. I've turned up tonight and seen faces that I've seen around Villa Park for 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So it's been great to see so many old faces, and all for Stan Petrov because he deserves it.
You know, I've spoke to him throughout. I was speaking to him tonight, and he was hoping to make it here, which obviously he couldn't make it here. There was problems on the trains and whatnot, but which was upsetting for him himself. But like I say, I think that it's been overwhelming support from everybody. The two boys tonight obviously done the bike ride, have been fantastic throughout the last few days, and I've been keeping in touch with them as well. And you could just see the looks on their faces how tiring it was.
We're all here for Stan. Those that know Stan personally, those that know him as a player, we're all here to support Stan. And I think it's important that we don't forget him, because sometimes, as any footballer that will know, as soon as you're out of the game for whatever reason, you can get forgotten about. And I think that's the worst time in any footballer's career, is when you do get forgotten and all of a sudden you don't know what to do with yourself. So it's important that we don't forget Stan. And that's why it's amazing that everyone's here tonight, is because we all remember him as a player, we all know what he's like as a lad. And I think it's touching that you're all here.
How surprised were you to find that they were doing this challenge?
When they first said it, I actually laughed down the phone when they said about it. It was obviously one of the things that you thought, the two masseurs doing a bike ride, it's not going to happen. But they've done so much work to actually get on the bikes and obviously do the amount of days they've done is fantastic. And for them two to get to the end of it, I think they was glad they were. And you've seen them on stage there tonight. They're just, I'm proud of them, to be honest. The two masseurs being able to do that, they were brilliant.
Obviously, when they're up there, I know they're having a laugh and that, but I think their laugh was more to distract them from maybe welling up a bit, because they genuinely do care for Stan. Stan's done a lot for them since he's been at the club, as he's done for everyone else. And I know they really, I know it's easy to say you love someone when you play with them, but they genuinely do love the guy. And any little thing, even if they'd only made 500 quid for the charity, they would have been buzzing with it because it's for Stan. And like I say, the fact that they've managed to raise the money they've raised so far and hopefully carry on to make more is a great statement to the lads, really.
Every time that they were feeling low points when they was on the bikes, I'm sure that Stan popped into their head and it managed to get them through it. And it looked tough physically from the different days that you saw them on the bikes. And but like I say, they managed to get through it and done a fantastic job and put on a great night tonight as well.
And Stan's in remission at the moment, but that doesn't mean he isn't still receiving treatment. He's still got a long journey ahead of him, hasn't he?
Yeah, but everybody are doing the journey with him. Everybody try to take his hand and try to do it quicker than ever. And I think he's one of the bravest men in the world, and he's going to be soon very well.
Yeah, we kept in touch over the BB. I spoke to him only once, and yeah, hopefully on a short notice I can see him in person, because I know him a long time, and he means a lot for me.
It puts things into perspective, doesn't it? That, I mean, there are more important things than football, really, in life.
Yeah, much more things than are much important than football. And yeah, every now and then, really bad things happen, and then you think, yeah, football is important, but not the most important thing.
For anyone who's met Stan, anyone knows Stan, everybody will say he's one of the most, perfect men you'll meet in football. And anybody who has met him for 2 or 3 minutes will say what a lovely guy he is too, because that's sort of the impression he gives out. So, that's why tonight's been a great turnout. That's why he'll raise so much money, because he's that sort of guy.
I took some time out myself to personally go and see him at the hospital. You know, I spent a little bit of time with him, and I talked to him on the, the phone and everything, just to see how he's doing and keep in touch with him. And I've sent out my support or my love to him, and support to his family and stuff if there's things he needs. It's just a unit that we had there. There's not so many football clubs you can go to and meet people and build that bond, and that strong bond and camaraderie with a person to still keep in touch after you leave a football team.
He had great belief in himself to get to the other side and beat it. He's got a great wife, Paulina, who'll help him, and he's got two lovely kids that'll help him too. So Stan will, I think he'll get to the other side of it and realise he's had great support, and that's because he's a strong man himself, and he's got very strong people around him too.
And as a club, will Aston Villa always have a fond place in your memory, in your heart?
Yeah, Aston Villa is my second home. Birmingham became my second home, and it's a really familiar club. If I look back, I had a really difficult time with my injury and things like that, but they always stood right next to me, and that's why I still play football. So no, only good words for Aston Villa.
It shows the club, it shows the foundation this club has always had, and the whole family background and the family unit. I still keep in contact with quite a few boys in the dressing room, and it's nice to see some familiar faces, not just the players but also the people that work behind the background of the club.
Aston Villa is a great club. I joined 15, 16 years ago, and I'm still seeing the same faces that are here when I first signed for the team. I've met Brian Little tonight, who was the manager when I signed 16 years ago, so it was great to see him. But even the people that are working inside the scenes that people don't know about, I've managed to see them, and it's great to see that, and especially for Stan Petrov, who's been a massive part of Aston Villa too. So it's been brilliant to come back tonight.